Hey everyone, these are the high-flying roller pigeons. These are Lila's Birmingham rollers. They're flying real good. They act more like high flyers than they do rollers at this point because they haven't started rolling yet. There's been a lot of tumbling and tail drops and stuff like that, but they are way up there. So the reason why, because I really don't feed them right. I give them a lot of high energy seeds and I give them all they want, and they just fly for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But anyway, so my race team here, I took them out 40 miles yesterday, and I released them in four different groups. 2 groups of 7 and 2 groups of 6. I had 26 birds, and didn't go well at all, and I really couldn't understand it. 3 groups came back, and I'm completely missing a whole group of 7, which narrowed it down to the Canadian smoke, because I should not have lost any birds. So be careful of that Canadian smoke, guys. The birds can't navigate too well. I mean, obviously I had a whole group of 7 that went in the wrong direction, and I don't believe they'll be back because it's I don't know, 9:30 now in the morning, and I haven't seen a single one. I would have started to see some by now if they were able to correct the situation and get back here. Also, yesterday I let out that muleman right there in the center. I let that one out, and also that real pretty one there in the center that's laying down, that Huskin Van Reel. I let those 2 out, and I didn't see that Huskin Van Reel for about 6 hours, but he came back and that was his first flight. And the muleman did very well. He just kept flying around the area, but he was always pretty much in sight. So I got 2 more flyers. So anyway, my race team's getting kind of small. I wish I had thought of the Canadian smoke. I wouldn't have brought them out. And it was very hazy when I released them, but it often is early in the morning, so it just never crossed my mind. So that's what happened. Anyway, on a little brighter note, I'll show some of these young birds that I've been breeding. So over here in the old dog house, I'm sending a couple of these to a late hatch 1 Loft race. That's a roller right there. That's a Belgian Delbar. Let's check out these guys. I do need to clean out this loft today, but yeah, I got a real nice Huskin Van Reel there. That's a roller that got scalped. He fell out of his nest, and some of the other cockbirds beat him up. But yeah, just some really good pedigree birds in here. That's a black eagle. I believe that one sold, but I do have some more. But here's just some babies, and I'll show some more babies that I have in the weaning section of my breeding loft. So in here, this is where I put the birds. I have been putting them as soon as they come out of the nest. I just put them in here, make sure they're all eating well and everything before I move them to the doghouse for a week or so. But you can see these are very young. Move this out of the way. And there's 4 black eagles there. I got a couple more coming out of the nest, but I keep an eye on them. So let me show you what happened in the stock loft. In the stock loft, of course, everybody wants to lay eggs, you know. We got eggs all over the place, but I don't do any breeding in here, with the exception of my favorite pair of Husky Van Reels. They laid a set of eggs on the floor, and I said, well, I'll see what happens. I'll stick them under a nest bowl. I'll put a nest bowl under them, and sure enough, 2 Husky Van Reels. They're all banded, and it's a good chance that they're going to get picked on by some older males, but I've been watching them closely, and so far so good, but I will get them out of here as soon as possible. That's one of my favorite birds right there. That's a kittle, cockbird, real nice kittle. There's some of the breeders out here. While the rollers are flying, I got some free time. Well, let's see if we can see the rollers. They're probably pierce the atmosphere by now. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, quite the flyers, I tell you. Very enjoyable to have a nice group of young rollers flying around. One of those rollers just started flying 2 days ago. It's already hanging in there with the group. They are starting to come down a little bit, so that's good. But anyway, if any of my young, nice racing pigeons come back, I will know about it, because I kind of set it up with this compartment here, and so they would be the only ones in this when they trap. So very surprised I didn't get any of those 7 back this morning. So anyway, these are all older flyers. Maybe you would call it an old bird team, but I didn't race them this year. These are all cocks and hens, all mixed in. I used to have a wall right there separating the cocks and hens, but I kind of feel like they're a little bit more happy, all mixed up together, you know. I mean, how much more happy can you be than that, right? These are all these Husky Van Reels, and all these birds in here. Like that's a pure Hofkin right there. They're all tested birds. They've all made it through either the 2022 or the 2023 racing season. Made it through 100%. That's one of Big Money's daughters right there. She did great. All these birds are really, really top notch, because you don't make it through an entire season around here without knowing what you're doing. And that hen right there is from my very first racing pigeon I ever had, and she looked just like that. And early this spring, I let her mother out to have a fly, and she wasn't in good shape at all, and she got taken by a hawk. So that's her daughter. I'll probably keep her forever. Yeah, I miss that hen. She was a real sweetheart. But so the birds are really having a happy life in here. I wish they had a little bit more room. I've been seriously thinking about scrapping all this and starting over, building them a much bigger loft. And so usually once I get these things in my head, I have trouble letting it go. And you might see me working on that pretty soon. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe, thumbs up if you like the videos, and have a great Sunday.